that he is thinking about the possibility of going back to Cleveland. When you combine that with the fact that Kyrie Irving, so long as he stays healthy, is going to be one of the best point guards in this game. You're talking about him and LeBron with some big bodies, and imagine what Cleveland could do. If you're LeBron and you're thinking about a storybook ending, going home is going home, and that's always going to have some semblance of an appeal. About the possibility of bringing a championship to the city of Cleveland for the first time in its history. There's only one thing that compares to a quality of life you've adopted, and that's the place that you call home, no matter what the circumstances.
Home sweet home.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home.
LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes.
Yes! LeBron James!
I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know that Cleveland awaits, and they're forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming. Welcome home, LeBron.
There it is. LeBron James is coming home to Cleveland. Who would have thunk it, Ruggs? 4 years ago, America sat home, watched the decision to hear LeBron say, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. What do you think about it, Ruggs? He's going back home, baby.
Well, you can go home again, I guess. That's the famous saying, and he's making it look true. Yeah, you're right. He made that decision, proclamation, not that far from where we're sitting, actually, down in Stanford.
Greenwich.
Greenwich, I'm sorry. It's all
next town over.
$1 million town next to the other. What's the difference? But, yeah, you're right. Down in Greenwich at the YMCA, got killed for that really publicly. I know where he was coming from with the charity aspect of it, but it did not leave a great taste in a lot of people's mouths, especially in Cleveland. Honestly, though, if he says that, if he's at a papal mass and he says that announcement, people in Cleveland are still going to burn his jerseys and hate his guts. So no matter where he says that and how he does it, Cleveland isn't going to hate him. It's the rest of the world that kind of got on him a little bit about the way he did it. It just shows that it doesn't matter. They're fully forgiving him in just a matter of days now since he's made this announcement that he's going back. That's just the way humanity is, but especially in the sports world. If 2 years from now, when this new contract he signs, he wants to go somewhere else and he does it, they'll kill him again.
Well, yeah. Well,
it's fickle. That's the way things are. But
if I'm Cleveland, first thing's this: you got to forgive. The biggest step, no doubt about it, was LeBron's family, LeBron's circle. We all know that he's got a circle of people from Ohio. They influenced him to go back home. They didn't, especially his wife. Hey, listen. And that just tells you, folks, these athletes and ourselves are not too much different. I mean, the wives wear the pants. And if the wife says, honey, I want to go back home to Cleveland. I want to bring the kids back home to Cleveland. We're from Ohio. Sorry, I shouldn't even say Cleveland, but Ohio. They're Ohio people. Of course, we all know LeBron's from Akron, but nevertheless, let's go home. We've done all we've done all we could in Miami. 4 years, 4 straight finals, 2 championships. What else is there to do? Let's go home. And I think a lot of things influence LeBron's decision. I think we all know that he was bothered by the backlash that he was receiving from the fans in Cleveland, and for just cause. I mean, these fans were justified. He left. Listen, I don't want to kill LeBron again. I don't want to go through this again.
Zook, he's very concerned with his public image and
he is.
how people. A lot of
Especially
big-time
back
guys
home.
could care less what people think of him. LeBron, I mean, it's been chronicled before. I'm not breaking any new ground here,
Right.
but he is very affected by what others think of him and really does care and like to keep himself on the better side of public opinion. And the funny thing is he tends to not be very often. No matter which way he plays it, he tends to be on the wrong side. But that's just because he's such an icon, really, is how it breaks down.
I will say I think he's pulled a 720. I will say when he did this decision 4 years ago, I, along with other people, killed him. I went on social media and killed the guy, called him a whole bunch of names and stuff like that, including his owner, who wrote a vile letter, who called him a cowardly. And he called him a coward, I mean, a number of times in the letter. Basically called LeBron a traitor. He betrayed Cleveland. And it's a letter that he had to apologize for. He had to confront LeBron face to face. He had to make amends with LeBron. And Dan Gilbert did so, took the stupid letter down. He should have taken it down after LeBron won a championship in 2012. Because one part of the letter he says, I guarantee we're going to win a title before LeBron does. He probably should have taken it down as soon as that series ended.
Yeah, that whole letter was just...
It was a vile letter. I mean, he came across as a billionaire crybaby who lost his meal ticket. Really, he came. He came across as, you know what he sounded like? All these rich guys when the stock market crashed in 08. He really did. He sounded like one of those guys. And LeBron now, I like what he said in this essay here. I'm gonna try to read it for you guys.
You can't expect these athletes, Zook, to have. I know he feels like maybe he's the guardian of Northeast Ohio or whatever, but that's on him. If he feels that way, that's one thing. But you can't expect these guys to go around and you're in it for yourself. He's in it for himself. Everybody's in it for themselves. I'm not saying you have to crap on people along the way, but he's not ordained where he has to go and stay in one place or the other.
No,
I mean,
he was a free agent.
Every one of these guys is from somewhere.
Right. Hey, Dwayne Wade's from Chicago. Yeah. Never, whatever. Carmelo Anthony's from Baltimore. We'll get to him later. But the bottom line is this: LeBron's gone home. 2-year deal, $42 million. Don't read too much into the deal, folks. I know
they're going to lock this long term.
Well, it's not even that. The problem is this: there's probably going to be a new CBA in a couple of years.
Yep.
And it's already been discussed that the head of the Players Association has already told these guys to make sure when you negotiate your contracts that you have an opt-out, after the 2016 season, because that's when we might be looking at a lockout. So, so a lot of these guys, something's got to be done. I'll be honest with you. Going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but let's be honest. Let's be honest here. These guys made a mockery of the free agent system. Let's be honest, LeBron, Carmelo, these guys made a mockery of it. Did you see the reports? I mean, it was constant, and they were all wrong. And I will say this about a guy. I am sorry. I know I'm just a guy from Norwalk, Connecticut doing a podcast, but if Chris Broussard's not fired by ESPN, they have no credibility, no journalistic credibility whatsoever. Chris Broussard is a disgrace to reporting and a disgrace to journalism. I mean, ESPN should be embarrassed to even admit that they employ this guy. He was wrong on everything. Everything. He wasn't right on one thing. First, he came out the day before LeBron, the same day LeBron announces that he's going to Cleveland, that morning, this idiot comes on television and says, oh, that letter is going to play a major role in LeBron not going to Cleveland. I'm hearing from people that letter was a big factor. Then LeBron comes out 4 hours later and says, oh, no, me and Dan Gilbert spoke about it. It's all good. Are you kidding me? This guy just came out on national television and said 85% he's going back to Miami. Mickey Arison, the owner of the Heat, favorited one of his tweets. I mean, it's a joke. This guy's a disgrace. Then he says, "Oh, Chris Bosh is going to Houston if LeBron goes to Cleveland." What happened there? He goes back to Miami. I mean, this guy, this Broussard, embarrassing. Then he comes out this morning and says Dan Gilbert's a racist. He says, "Oh, I spoke to one executive that says Dan Gilbert's cut from the same cloth as Donald Sterling." Are you kidding me? You talk about a spiteful little child, Chris Broussard is. Just because Gilbert and LeBron, put egg on your face, You got to come on and call the guy a full-blown racist? I mean, geez Louise, talk about a lack of journalistic integrity. Chris Broussard. Well, I shouldn't even say Chris Broussard. Well, I know he's a piece of crap because it was 4 years ago when that idiot swore up and down that LeBron was going to Chicago. I mean, so this guy, I don't understand how he gets to keep his job. Pathetic, but that's ESPN for you, which is why I can't even watch SportsCenter anymore. I really rarely watch ESPN because it's such a joke. It really is a joke. ESPN has become a total joke when it comes to integrity and just substance. They have no substance on that network whatsoever. I mean, they have none. Give me one substantial reporter they have on that network. I mean, they have nothing going on that network. It's a joke. It's a disgrace. But they're the quote-unquote worldwide leader. And I will say, kudos to a former ESPN employee. And I love the fact that he stuck it to ESPN. Chris Sheridan, who broke this story about LeBron going back to Cleveland, and he put his ass on the line and said, he guaranteed it. He said, he goes, dude, I guarantee it. This is happening. He's going back to Cleveland. Sure as hell, Chris Sheridan was right, and he's getting all the accolades. A former employee of ESPN. I love it. Suck on that, ESPN. Suck on that. But nevertheless, getting back to LeBron, let's just tell it like it is. It's a great story. I'm very happy. The guy pulled a 720 when it comes to his image. He said some very nice things in that essay. He's tempered his enthusiasm. So the worst thing he could have done was come out, in my opinion, and said, "Okay, I want to win a championship in Cleveland my first year." He basically said, "Listen, with this roster, that's not really realistic right now." He's got some.
Yeah, I think that's something that everybody needs to get right off the bat. It's still a very, very much a work in progress in Cleveland. There's a lot of pieces there, but the cohesion is going to take a long time, and they're still looking to do some more. I think their moves are not done yet. They went out and a very minor move, but they went and got Brandon Hayward. They're looking to do some other things too to fortify that team a little bit. But certainly the big piece was getting LeBron. Everything can kind of happen from there. They weren't going to end up anywhere near an NBA title without him. So
no, I mean they've got a great team right now. I mean, in my opinion, I think they're the favorite to win the East with Kyrie Irving and a couple of the other guys they have there. With the thing is, he's going to make these young guys better.
Yeah, I don't see a great team in the NBA next year if the Spurs can't.
I agree with you.
If the Spurs can't come back from the dead again.
If the Spurs finally get old.
You got to think they want to hang in there now. They got to be looking at the rest of the NBA and saying, man, we could walk this. I mean, we could cakewalk this.
They kept Patty Mills,
which
was kind of a surprise to me. They retained Patty Mills, which I like
him a lot.
Well, yeah, I thought a lot more teams were going to like him, but I think Patty Mills got lost in the shuffle with all this LeBron, Carmelo, Bosh, Wade, who still hasn't signed anywhere, but he'll be back in Miami.
Well, some guys just like winning all the time and playing for Popovich, so he's not upset.
Good for the Spurs. Oh, the Spurs aren't upset either, I'm sure. But good for LeBron. I mean, he's going back home. I think it's a great move. It's good for the game and it's good for him. I read that essay and I came away with saying this guy's a good dude. He really is. Family-oriented guy, going back home to Ohio, play with a young team, try to win a championship. So good for him, good for LeBron, and
as much as he irks a lot of people in a lot of different ways with things he's done in the past, he doesn't have the personality of just like an utter jerk or an egomaniac like some of these other guys. So I mean, there's plenty of the A-Rods of the world and other guys you can kill a lot more and way before you'd kill LeBron. He's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Somebody is not going to like whatever he does because he just has that. He's woven that much into the fabric of the game right now.
Yeah. He's the best player. Yeah. Well said, buddy. Hey, what do you think about what he said in his essay? I thought it was so true. It was a great analogy on his part. He almost referenced his 4 years in Miami as going away. Like when a high school kid goes away to college and kind of sows his wild oats, and has a good old time. Then he comes back home. What do you think? I kind of really like that analogy. He went to Miami. He had some fun. He
got his titles.
He hung out with his friends. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. Now he's going to go back home. I kind of like that. Now I think, you know what? He's kind of right. Because another thing that gets lost in the discussion about this, and I'll let you answer that question I asked you, but another thing that gets lost there is that we forget how young he was with that decision. He was 25. It's not like LeBron was this 35-year-old guy. He was still a young man, still kind of immature. I know I was pretty immature at 25.
Oh, yeah, no, but people forget that because he started so young in the league. I mean, because he's such a veteran.
Right.
Years of service in the league is, he's got, quite a few. So you don't think of him as still a young man, a young ball player. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think he wanted to go and get his objectives met, get the titles. Now he doesn't have that over his head, and for personal achievements of getting MVPs or NBA titles, all that stuff, he's done it.
And he's going to continue to do so.
Now it's a family thing. Now it's a community thing. He wants to win for Cleveland. Now the pressure of the personal achievements and stuff is off of him. He's not like he had before he went to Miami, where he felt the brunt of all that and said, if I don't get out of here and get with a better cast, I'm never going to win one.
Yeah.
All that's gone now. He can play a much different,
relaxed almost.
Exactly, and I think that's gonna.
And he can focus on being a leader to these young guys, and he's going to make them better. I think he's going to play like a monster this year. I really do, but I think it's going to be a kind of a reserved aggression.
That's what he really likes to do, Zook. If you see him in the past, he likes to facilitate. He got killed many, many times for not taking shots at the end of games, for trying to hit open guys, trying to make guys better. And he actually took a lot of heat for that. Now this is what they want him to do. They want him to make the Kyrie Irvings of the world, into great ball players.
Yep.
Guys that are on, ascending right now. Guys that are hitting their stride in the league.
Waiters, Thompson.
Exactly.
I tell you a couple other things. We'll see. We're running time out of this segment. Jeez, I mean, this stinks. We're running out of time. But a couple things. The Kevin Love rumors are spreading. Cleveland can be major players for Kevin Love. We'll see if Minnesota will be willing to move him to Cleveland. If that happens, we'll keep an eye on that. It hasn't happened yet. But, God, if they get Kevin Love, oof, can you imagine?
Let's quickly just recap a couple things, just in case anybody doesn't know. The Heat had to try to recover quickly. They went out and got Luol Deng.
That's a great sign.
So I thought it was a very good
very
move.
Good sign. Miami's going to be competing for the division again.
Oh, absolutely. Bosch stays. There's still
too much money for Bosch. Real quick, let's see if he's the Bosch in Toronto.
If he can now with LeBron gone say I got to go back to what got me to where I was in this big signing in Miami, which is go near the rim, play down low, be a monster on the boards again, block some shots, do what you were supposed, what they really wanted you to do there in the first place, and not be a 3-point shooter.
Right.
Then I think it could end up being a good signing for them. A lot of pressure's going to be coming on him now to take over the reins for the team. So we'll see how that works out with Bosch. I mean, he handled it okay when he was in Toronto, being the A guy there, the number one man. But, it was obviously a different market and a different world. But you got, Melo re-signs. That's the other big one. Again, like you said, family means a lot. A lot of people think it was kids wanted to stay in school there. Basically, it just came down to something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Ruggs. And it's New York. And I didn't believe the whole mumbo-jumbo about him saying, oh, this is my heart, my city, my team. Stop it. Stop it. I think if he had his druthers, he would have gone to Chicago. If this was baseball, and he could have gone wherever, if there was no salary cap.
Oh, if he could have just maxed out wherever.
There's no doubt in my mind he'd be a Chicago Bull. Because I heard multiple reports, which I don't know how true they are, because if they're the same sources that were leaking LeBron stories, then those guys don't have much credibility. But still, I mean, it didn't look like he was too eager to go back to the Knicks. He was kind of like, he's another guy that held a lot of people hostage. But nevertheless, he's going back to New York. And then, a couple other things happened. Houston I think is a big loser. They missed out on a lot of guys. And then, of course, they lose Chandler Parsons to Dallas. Bad
Which
job.
Was totally unnecessary. They had
bad job by Houston.
They did not have to lose him. They had him
for $900K, right?
That's all it took.
$900K. They had him. Yeah, they had him locked up for this year.
Ugh.
Silly. Bad job by Daryl Morley, the GM in Houston. Bad job. Could cost him his job. Should actually. I think
He had stars in his eyes. He was
Disgraceful.
seeing these big names. He was seeing,
Yeah.
we're gonna get Carmelo. We're gonna get Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes
Well,
guys.
Oh well. Hey, that's the way it went. He missed out on that. Let's see if it costs him his job. It may ultimately do so. I think it should. I think he sucked. I think it was disgraceful. To be honest with you, I'd be embarrassed. I think I'd be embarrassed to be him right now. Disgraceful, to be honest with you. And then he trades Jeremy Lin for some big Ukrainian guy. So basically, Houston lost a first, a second, Lin, Ashik, Parsons, and all they got back was Trevor Ariza. Disgraceful. That's disgraceful. That's a trade that gets you fired. I mean, if you were to make that trade,
trying to share the ball, now you have James Harden and Trevor Ariza on the same team.
Oh my God! You know what? They were my pick last year to go to the finals. I will not be picking Houston again this year.
I'll make a prediction right now. Lowest field goal percentage in the league.
Oh my God!
Goes to Houston.
Oh my God!
They are going to shoot like 40% as a team if they're lucky.
God. Terrible, but nevertheless, also a big sign was Paul Gasol to the Chicago Bulls.
Yes, don't forget about that.
I think that makes the Bulls very good. They also promoted. They purchased the rights of finally Mirotic, who's a big player for them in Europe. They're really high on him, so you're going to see him, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I've been watching a little bit of this summer D League. McDermott looked pretty good in his first game there. I tell you who looks like he's rebounding, a guy that I killed, and I tell you, he looked damn good the other day. Anthony Bennett. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Anthony Bennett now, who lost a lot of weight, he lost a lot of weight. He looks great.
Well, if you knew you were going to get to play with LeBron now, championship, that'll motivate
Can you imagine if he ends up playing like a number one pick? You'll have Bennett with Wiggins, Kyrie. Oh my God, scary! I tell you what, scary. They might not need to make a trade for Love.
I know. If Varejao could just get more than 20 games a season on the court, I mean,
very exciting.
That's a big starting five.
Well, very exciting stuff. I wish we had more time to cover.
Yeah.
We definitely got to take a break. We're in over our heads here, but after the break, we're going to touch on the World Cup, which ended last night. Very exciting World Cup. We're going to touch on that after the break on All Noise Radio.
Has this ever happened to you?
Flop the nut straight.
And then you felt like this?
All night, he he trapped me.
Are you thousands of dollars in debt? Have you ever bet on the Puppy Bowl?
Are you in too deep but have no intention of stopping?
Who are you going to call?
Gambling Enablers Anonymous. Witness protection for gamblers. Gambler. Some people may say you have an addiction to gambling, but we here at
Gambling Enablers Anonymous
believe you have every right to continue your hobby. We will provide you with a new identity to help you hide from those pesky IRS agents and loan sharks.
We also provide relocation services based on your preferred betting venues. Just listen to our satisfied customers.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Batman.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So before you end up or call us.
Gambling Enablers Anonymous.
Witness protection for gamblers.
This is obviously not a real service, and if you thought it was, you are a total moron. Gambling Enablers Anonymous holds no legal responsibility for any dumb decisions you make, especially based on this commercial. Gambling is a risk, and if you consider calling us, we would advise you to seek psychiatric evaluation.
Listen up, boys and girls. This is Wingnut from Psychedelic Bubblegum Shop. I don't usually do sports, but when I do, I know it's Zuki and Ruggs time. Yeah, right here on allnoiseradio.com.
We're back on All Noise Radio. We're going to get into the World Cup. As I said at the end of the first segment, it was an exciting World Cup, the most exciting World Cup of my lifetime, to be honest with you, Ruggs. Thrilling games, and wouldn't you know it, the final was no different. Unbelievable game, Ruggs. I'll be honest with you, I'm sad that it's over.
I am too. It's weird to go today and not have something to check on. As my wife would say, though, yeah, it's so exciting. It's still nothing. But there were a lot of goals. Late in the World Cup, it kind of came back to tight games. I mean, that's how soccer's played.
Right.
And big time international soccer is played very close to the vest. You don't want to be the team that gives up the big opportunity and starts getting laced for goals. So, I mean, it's not a big surprise that it ended up 1-0, but there was loads of opportunities for both teams to make things happen in this game. It was not what you would say, another soccer game, 1-0. Anybody who just picks up a paper and looks at it, it's like, yeah, this is why I don't watch. But if you watch the game, there was many, many twists and turns in that game. Biggest of all might be the letdown of Argentinian fans by their hero, Lionel Messi there.
Yeah.
Did not play well.
No, he didn't. And ironically enough, he won the Golden Ball for basically that's the MVP of the World Cup. And then, I mean, wouldn't you know it, fellow Argentinian legend Diego Maradona came out and said, dude didn't deserve it. That's got to be a blow to Messi, too. So everyone's really kicking Messi when he's down here.
Not a big surprise that Diego Maradona is going to come out and make a
of course, little ego
controversial statement.
Right.
But
so, I mean, Lionel Messi, listen, I'm not so hard on the guy. In my opinion, I've heard people using the term arguably or one of. No. If you refer to Lionel Messi as one of the best players in the world, stop talking about soccer. Just stop, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He is the best player in the world. Just stop.
But I'm to be fair, they were saying that on TV too, which kind of makes you cringe.
Yeah. I mean, really? Kind of the best? I mean, or sort of the best? It's like, what? What are you on drugs?
No, there's no question.
Oh, come on. Give me a break. I mean, listen. Germany, these teams that were honed in on Lionel Messi, again, I'm not going to defend the guy. He didn't score in the 4 knockout games. But let me tell you something. I'll ask you this, Ruggs. As a general question, does Argentina get to the final without Messi?
No, absolutely not.
Of course.
Soccer,
you know what I mean?
Let's remember, everybody out there, it's an 11-on-11 sport. So if you have somebody who is that much better than the rest of the guys that you're playing against, think about the math, how many guys you can put on him.
Right.
You could run. It's not like Pee Wee basketball where there's no double teaming. I mean, you could throw 11 guys and run them at him if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. I mean, he always had a guy to his left, a guy to his right, and a guy deep right behind to make sure he doesn't burn him over the top.
Hey, I mean, he deserves criticism. I mean, he missed the header, right, Ruggs? I think he missed the header.
He did. He headed it over the bar. It wasn't a good touch. He had a free kick. We talked a little about this off air. Very late in the game. Really was the last gasp. I mean, we're talking about under a minute before they blew the whistle. He had a free kick outside the box, quite a bit outside the box. I'd say about from the 25 or 30-yard mark, and sailed it about, kind of like Mike Vanderjack. He kicked it about 40 yards when he needed to kick it 30, and kicked it about 12 yards to the right, wide. I mean, he was going for it. A lot of people, including us, think maybe should have tried to feed it to somebody, make the perfect pass, make the Cristiano Ronaldo play that he did, like Portugal against the United States when he hit somebody right on the head there for a goal. That didn't happen. He sailed it wide. He felt the pressure. He's like, I got to do this. Everybody in the world expects me to go knock one in, to bend it inside the bar, and I'm going to go do it. And he tried, and didn't work out for him. Argentina, you can't. They had their opportunities. There was plenty of other guys that had chances to make an impact on the game.
Absolutely. Well, you had Iguan early in the game. I mean,
golden opportunity.
He definitely did. I mean, I listen. I know it's not easy. Soccer's not easy, and I know when that ball's bouncing around by your feet, and if you hit it with your ankle, which he did, he kind of hit. If you watch the replay, he kicked the ball with the upper part of his ankle instead of connecting with his foot. Listen, I know it's hard. I know it's a hard game, so I'm not trying to kill the guy, but hey, he missed. He had a golden chance there to score, and he missed. And then he's offsides a few minutes later on a goal, and he's sitting there celebrating. And dude, you're freaking 6 yards offsides. Come on, dude.
Yeah, no.
Come on. So Iguan really, and then he gets knocked out to top it off.
Ooh. He had a real rough day.
Ooh, he did. She certainly did. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Moyer, the goalie from Germany, was going up for
punching
the ball right on the outside of the box and just got him with the inside of his knee right to his jaw.
It looks straight out of wrestling. Yeah, looks straight out of WWE. Really. Really physical game. No doubt about it. He had Schweinsteiger, who was just like bloodied and beat. I mean, it really looked like WWE. It really did. It was kind of funny. It was like, wow, these guys are just killing each other. Hey, great goal. I mean, to end the game there in the 120th minute.
That's how you want it to end, was a perfect
unbelievable.
execution,
And it's so funny
play.
because the announcers were, it's right before the goal occurred, the announcer, I forgot which one it was, said, I'd like to see this game end traditionally. I hate to see this go to PKs.
I thought the same thing, too. I was glad it ended with a...
Sure as hell. A few minutes later, Andre Schürrle comes to the he's pushing the ball along. He beats a couple Argentinian defenders and...
Just flicks a great pass.
Great pass to Mario Götze. Super Mario. Super Mario's that's what they're calling him now. And he's a hell of a player. He's a
big-time young player.
Yeah, 24 years old. He's had a lot of success.
And he was
early
benched
on.
because he had some issues in the the build-up games to the World Cup, and they used him more as a super sub, and that's kind of what he did.
And that's been the story of this World Cup as well. You've seen a lot of subs come in here and make an impact. We remember Huntelaar in that game against Mexico for the Netherlands. He came in there and scored the game winner.
And our game against Belgium was totally changed when they put Lukaku in, who was a starter the whole tournament.
Lukaku
they
changed the
benched
whole game.
him, put him in the going into the extra time, and he was in on both of those goals.
Then Klinsmann brought in our guy, the young kid there. What the heck's his name again? Shoot, I forgot.
Jordan, or Jalen White, something like that.
No, I forgot. Whatever, the young kid. I think I should do my research, but anyway.
No, but I know exactly. I know what you mean.
He scored, and we almost came back and took that game, or tied it. But nevertheless, great coaching decision by Germany there to take out Klose and bring in Götze, Super Mario.
Yeah, because Argentina did a very good job of disturbing Germany's rhythm and the way they like to play. They made it tough on them.
They did. It was a great defensive game. I'll be honest with you. I mean, as a casual fan, to my novice eye, it was boring. I will say that. I hate to use that term, but it kind of was. Outside of a few chances, but it was a defensive game. And
who let Mrs. Ruggiero in here? Yeah, it was exactly what she said.
But great play, great goal to end the game, unreal. This World Cup. The question's been asked. It was asked to the panel on ESPN with Alexei Lalas there. Where does this World Cup rank? Like I've said a bunch of times on our show here. I'm 33. I've been around for a few World Cups. This is the best one I can remember. I haven't seen that many, but I think 94 is the first one I specifically remember. I have vague memories of 90, which was the last time Germany won it before yesterday. But mainly 94 is when I really started following the World Cup, and by far this one's the best one.
Yeah, and I even go back a couple more than that, and I agree with you. I remember 86. The final was good in 86, but the tournament was not anywhere near what this one was.
Just thrilling goals left every game. Almost every game. Outside of Brazil, we didn't touch it. Oof.
No, we're going to get into that in a minute here. That's the big takeaway maybe from the tournament.
I should have stuck with my initial pick was Germany, but then I thought, home field, Brazil's got home field. Oof, I should have stuck with my first pick.
Play a bigger role, and I should know better because the home team, since France hasn't won it. So,
right.
What happened to Brazil?
I just can't believe Neymar made that big of a difference. I know he's the best player on their team, but to get utterly humiliated by Germany like that was ridiculous, inexcusable.
And the defense was killed, and it should be. Thiago Silva was thrown out for 2 yellow cards in the game before against Colombia, was not able to play against Germany. They said that was the key reason why they got sliced open, but yet he's out there against the Netherlands, and they didn't look much better.
No, they didn't. Well, they lost 3-0 instead. Well, it was 2-0 until I think in Netherlands that third goal was late.
And really, Silva could have gotten red carded in the game because he pulled down.
Clearly he
Robin right in the box there.
Yeah, he did.
They could have called it outside the box. They called it inside. They gave him the penalty. It was almost like, well, what's going to hurt Brazil worse, playing the whole game 11 on 10 or giving up a quick goal here on a penalty kick? And it's it was pick your poison because either way they were in big trouble.
They certainly were. Not the way you wanted to see Brazil go out. I know a lot of people liked it because a lot of people are Brazil haters. I'm not one of them. Of course, if you're an Italian fan or something like that, and any team that's lost to Brazil, a lot of people a lot of my Italian friends are still not over that 94 final. I tell you, it's amazing. I was on Facebook, man. A lot of these guys are still not over. It was pretty funny, though. They were kind of reveling in Brazil's dismay there. But that's okay. That's sports. That's sports.
Yeah.
That's what sports is all about. When a team you don't like gets crushed, you celebrate. That's the game. But yeah, just really bad job. And then Brazil, of course, today, no surprise, axes their coach. Luis Felipe Scolari is gone. Hasta luego. I know they speak Portuguese, but I don't know how to say hasta luego in Portuguese, so forget about it. But he's gone. So bye-bye to their coach. And, hey, no big surprise. This is kind of where I thought Brazil initially was. About, a Final Four type team. I just thought being home would push them over the edge, but no doubt in my mind, Germany was the best team. The best team won this World Cup.
Yep.
But all in all, very happy for a lot of teams. I mean, the parity was amazing. There were a lot of great games. I mean, my God, some of these games were phenomenal. Even we didn't even touch on it because we weren't here last week, but Argentina, Netherlands was a great game going to PKs where Argentina did beat the Netherlands. And, I mean, any one of these teams could have won. I mean, the Netherlands could have won the World Cup. And, a lot of teams could have won this thing. A lot of what ifs. It was really great to see, because I'll be honest with you, as a fan, I always thought and of course I'm ignorant. I'm a layman when it comes to this stuff, but I always thought what the hell does a soccer coach do? You see these guys just sitting on the sideline. It's like, dude, you got these guys running around. What do you do? What kind of adjustments do you make? Well, that was laid to rest because, as I said earlier, a couple of these decisions these guys made were brilliant. I really were brilliant. As you touched on, Ruggs, the decision by Belgium to bring in Lukaku against America. As I said, the Huntelaar substitution, taking out Robin van Persie, who's only one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, that can't be an easy decision. Also, the Netherlands coach, when he brought in the backup goalie for the PKs against Costa Rica.
Absolutely.
And he was talking trash. Unbelievable.
This is not the NBA with the prima donnas or major. They'll hook the best player in the world.
Yeah.
You're out. You're in. This is what. There's no. My God, Kobe would never stand for that if so and so benched him. These guys don't care.
No, and look at Germany with Klose. He's
all-time
trivia
World
question.
Cup scorer.
Yeah. Trivia question. Who's the all-time goal scorer in World Cup history? It's close.
We need a goal. You're not getting it done. Come sit down.
Yeah, you're an old man. Get out of here. We'll bring in Super Mario, and look who scores the game winner.
It's
unbelievable.
A completely different world outside of American professional sports with the egos.
Yeah. I mean, that's like pulling out Tom Brady in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Yep, no, you're not getting it done. You're having a bad half.
Can you imagine Belichick saying, "Hey, Tom, you're kind of missing some passes there. We're going to bring in Ryan Mallett." And then Mallett throwing a game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's nuts. That's kind of what that.
It's a big difference. It's just something that it's kind of refreshing. I kind of liked it.
I loved
just
it.
See the guys get yanked when they're not doing it.
I think soccer, it's happening, Ruggs. I know a lot of people are in denial about soccer, but let's be honest, we got a phenomenon going on here. Soccer is taking off in America. Last night, as a matter of fact, Seattle played Portland out in Seattle in it used to be called the Seahawks Stadium. Now it's called Century Link, I think it's called now.
Century Link, yep.
And 65,000 people to watch Seattle versus Portland MLS game.
Nice.
Unreal. Soccer is taking off in this country. It's happening. It's real. Whatever the theories are going to be, whether it's the Spanish influx, the Spanish influence, or whatever the case may be, I mean,
well, people who got to watch the World Cup, they see the things you used to hear. It's kind of a wimp sport. It's a soft.
Yeah.
You see these collisions, full speed.
Oh, no.
It's turning on a lot of people. Like, wow, I didn't realize that happened.
Yeah. So it's really taken off here. I mean, I wish I could buy stock in the MLS because it's on the rise, man. To be honest with you, but yeah, soccer's taking off here. I think honestly, if you're the kind of guy who's a stubborn, traditional American guy who thinks, it's all about football and baseball and the big three sports, you're going to get lost. You're going to get left in the shuffle when it comes to soccer. And I think we're not too far from the day when mainstream media is talking about soccer in the forefront. I know guys, there's a lot of archaic sports talk guys in New York, you know who I'm talking about, who refuse to talk about it. The guy doesn't even know there's a halftime in soccer, for crying out loud. You know who that is, New York's number one.
I know the front page of my sports section of my newspaper this morning was the World Cup final.
Yeah. Well, so that's it. Germany wins the World Cup. Got to take a break here. Germany wins the World Cup, their first in 24 years. And there goes that. The summer's biggest tournament is over, but we got to take a break here. After we come back, we're going to touch on baseball, the All-Star Weekend, and, of course, a major injury. What else is new? To a big-time pitcher and on a big-time team in baseball when we come back here on All Noise Radio.
You see it every day. They come to the store in their pajamas. They have everything they need for their big night in. They have 20 items and get into the 12 items or fewer checkout. They need help. The I Can't Add helpline will help you, help them, determine how many items they can take to the checkout. Our organization will provide them with a 6-year-old that will help them with the math. All calls are anonymous. Please help them now. Call 1-800-ICA-HELP or visit 2plus2is5.org.
Broadcasting around the globe. This is All Noise Radio.
Are you tired of buying the latest smartphone only to realize it's obsolete just a few months later? No need to waste your money on those ever-changing smartphones. Just get a good old-fashioned flip phone from Flip Phone Factory Outlet. A flip phone is perfect for those folks who can't program a VCR.
A what?
There's no apps to download and no batteries to charge. Just crank it up like an old Model T. At Flip Phone Factory Outlet, we can retrofit a rotary dial to your flip phone for that period-correct look and feel.
One ringy dingy.
Flip Phone Factory Outlet is celebrity endorsed by Andy Stick Madison.
All Noise Radio.
Hey, am I just spending the entire day wallowing around in my own feces?
Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. The noise you can't ignore.
All right, we're back here on All Noise Radio on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. We're going to be touching on Major League Baseball, something we haven't touched on in a while because of other stuff going on. But it's All-Star Weekend, so we're getting to the home stretch. The season kind of really starts for a lot of teams now that we're at the All-Star break. Now we start separating the contenders from the pretenders. Couple stories breaking out. The biggest one, Ruggs, regarding your New York Yankees. Masahiro Tanaka, $175 million. Well, you better go buy yourself a new right arm because it looks like he's going to be in the shelf for a long time. Partially torn ulnar collateral ligament. To put it in perspective, it's the same injury that Matt Harvey sustained last year. Initially, they're saying now with Tanaka, 6 weeks of rehab, rest. I think it's inevitable. He's going to have to go under the knife.
They're going to have to shut him down for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Unless they try to throw him out there in 6 weeks and the thing totally lets go, which I don't think you want to do. I don't think you want to do that. So, I mean, if you're the Yankees, Ruggs, as a fan, as a member of the organization, how are you feeling?
Nah, you throw those nasty splitters. I mean, It comes from somewhere, that torque.
Yeah.
That's where you get it from, ladies and gentlemen. Those ligaments, and they're stressed and
yep. He threw just 477 splitters this year alone. They came out and they counted a split. I guess they went. Amazingly, these people have jobs that watch every pitch. They counted. They went through and counted 477 splitters. That's in games. That's not even like practice.
Oh, exactly. That's not warming up in the pen.
Yeah.
Just the stress and strain that puts on your arm. These guys are dropping these big time.
Yep.
Young and old. It's not just an old man's thing anymore where your arm falls apart. These young kids, strong as bulls, they come into the league. They're rising high prospects, and their arms go. Like this isn't the first time we've brought this up on the program. That I don't know what you can do because you can't tell them, all right, well, go out there and be more hittable, save your arm. Just throw some fastballs down the middle of the plate because we don't want you to throw nasty splitters. Nobody's going to do that. But, is there a way somewhere along the line to, try to make this safer for pitchers? Tanaka, really was the one guy in the Yankee staff that was consistent.
Oh, he was amazing.
Big time
amazing. He was on his way to a Cy Young Award.
Yeah.
He really was. I mean, he was leading almost a Triple Crown type season for pitching wise for Tanaka. Yeah, Ruggs. I mean,
now they're staring at finishing below 500. To be honest with you,
he's going to cost them a lot of games. I mean, there's no one really attainable in the trade deadline right now that they could really get to replace him.
You could see both bullies in the East there finishing under 500. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah,
that would be something. Yeah, Red Sox, Yankees under
Baltimore's
500.
ascending.
They sure are. They've got a hell of a team. Their pitching staff doesn't really scare anybody, but when you're hitting the way they're hitting, with Nelson Cruz on his way to an MVP type season.
Yep.
I mean, right now, I think the first half of the year, I think he's the MVP. I really do. I mean, I know, of course, you're going to say, well, what about Mike Trout? Hey, listen, I'm not trying to kill Mike Trout, but Nelson Cruz, you take Nelson Cruz off the Orioles, I'm sorry. They are not.
I'm with you there, partner.
They are
totally
a below 500 team. You take him off especially the year Chris Davis, which is no big surprise that he's came back down to earth. The guy's not even, he's batting below the Mendoza line. Adam Jones has been pretty good, but the Matt Wieters injury, they lost their big-time all-star catcher for the year. Really, I mean, he's carried that team. He's kept them afloat.
Buck's doing a hell of a job there.
He sure is.
He gets a lot out of a little. He's done that for a long time. So.
He sure has. And where he's really profound is managing that bullpen. He does such a masterful job of bringing in the right guys, like knowing where to go, who to bring in. He's done a great job of that his entire career. Baltimore looks good right now, and it's not looking good for the Yankees. What do you listen, there's so many theories out there, Ruggs. We've heard them all. It's the traveling, the young kids throwing too hard all year round, not the proper rest. What do you think it is? Is there anything that can be done to remedy this?
Well, I don't know, and this is kind of a sports issue just in general. Every sport is all year long now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is no more. I don't want to say there's no more because there's guys out there that do it, but I cover high school sports locally. There is a very limited number of these 3-sport athletes. You used to have a guy that played football in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the spring. And you'd have guys that were all state at all 3. You have very, very little, limited. You can count them on one hand, guys that do that anymore. Guys either play football, they take it all year long, they play it in the off season.
Yeah.
They train and they work out and they just concentrate on getting big, getting strong for football. Guys that play baseball, play winter ball, play fall ball. Don't go out for other sports. You get guys, especially hockey's a big example of that. Yeah. Those guys are in the rink middle of the summer.
Yep.
I go past the rink locally where I am. It's packed with kids skating around, getting ready for the season. They're not in getting ready for football or playing Little League. They're, that's why a lot of the enrollments of these things are down.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things you just spend all year long doing the same thing, and it's repetitive motion on your body, doing the same tasks over and over again. When you're a pitcher, you get identified as a pitcher pretty young now. You're throwing innings in the bullpen, you're throwing innings in the winter inside. You continue to mount stress and strain on these arms. And I'm basically targeting pitchers, but you can have that with catching, with guys squatting 3 times as much, over a year as they are used to. These guys' knees get shot when they get to be older. Basically you can focus on it with anything, but the torque that you get as a pitcher really brings that to the forefront. I think that's the one you got to target the most. But these guys are they just can't stand up to it for the amount of years. These guys have played like a 20-year career by the time they're entering the league, because they've, through Little League, Legion Ball, high school, college, they've played 3 times the amount of innings, maybe the equivalent to a 15 or a 20-year career, when it should be young and fresh coming into the league, and they're not.
I agree. Yeah, there's so many different theories. I heard John Smoltz this morning talking about it. These guys are just, he doesn't like the regiments. He just thinks that these guys should be able to throw more in the minors, getting their arm conditioned. He kind of attributed it to just kind of being babied, honestly. He took that approach, saying that, we're so fixated on pitch counts, on numbers, like 100 pitches, rather than just letting these guys go and then let them build up arm strength and then knowing when to peel them back. There's so many different theories. I think people smarter than me are going to have to really come together and try to find a resolution to this problem, because it's a serious problem. I just don't think it's a coincidence. Something's going. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but something's going on.
Yeah, because why didn't the guys, why didn't
back in the old days, yeah,
Bob Gibson and
Nolan Ryan, even Seaver,
why didn't these guys throw their arms out? They
exactly.
threw more innings.
Yeah,
and they were out there every third day.
I don't know if it's the ball. I don't know if it's the mound. That's one thing I looked at. I said,
Is it
well,
the high mound? Now,
maybe
maybe that was a help.
I was looking at it. I was like, well, maybe the mound, them lowering the mound, really hurting these guys. I don't know what it is. Someone with a physics degree, with a doctorate in physics, is going to really have to. I think a group of these guys are going to have to come together and try to figure out a way.
The hitters are tougher to get out, so you got to come up with nastier pitches. You got to do things.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, that certainly doesn't help.
I'll say this right now. I mean, they were interviewing Chipper Jones on a radio station, and he said it pretty much best. He says, when I got drafted in, I think it was 1990 when he was drafted, when I first came up, and this is, he said that you could count on your hands how many guys were throwing in the upper 90s. Really, he says you could count. Yeah. And he goes, usually your 3, 4, 5 guys were throwing junk. These guys were throwing sinker, sliders. Maybe they're throwing 88 to 91. Stuff, change up, stuff like that. They weren't. But he goes, dude, by the time I retired, everybody's throwing 95. Dude, you got guys coming out of the bullpen throwing 95. It's insane. Maybe these guys are just too big, too strong, throwing too hard. I don't know what it is, but we've got a real epidemic on our hands. The fact that baseball has to look now and say, no Matt Harvey, no Jose Fernandez, no Tanaka. I mean, who's next? I mean, if you're a pitcher, you got to be, real scared. I'd be terrified if I was a pitcher right now. I'd be like, oh my god.
Well, it's like the knee epidemic in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's just like you need to open up a spare parts store.
Yeah.
Knees for football and shoulders and elbows in baseball, and
it's nuts. I don't know what can be done. Hopefully, baseball can. I mean, try to find a solution. I mean, I know sometimes the old adage, it is what it is. But I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that. But maybe it is. Maybe it is just what it is, and we have to accept the fact that if you're a team, okay, if you're an organization and you're drafting a player and you see this pitcher, you have to know that you're going to lose him for a year. You know it. It's just like that, okay, we're drafting this young man, like the Nationals, for example, when they drafted Strasburg. Here's a team that was trying to, here's a team that was babying the guy. He blew out his arm anyway, and they were babying him when he came back. It's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like it's almost like you have to accept the fact that these guys are gonna get hurt. It's like it's gonna happen. Just look at some of these guys. They've all had surgery. Wainwright, like I said, Strasburg, Harvey when he comes back, Fernandez next year when he comes back, Tanaka when he comes back, who hasn't had surgery yet, but I'm assuming he is. I mean, let's be honest. He's not going to somehow defy the odds here and avoid the knife. I think it's inevitable that he's going to go under the knife. So on and so forth. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, All-Star Weekend. Ruggs, got a few minutes here. Another story that's breaking out. Troy Tulowitzki basically trying to get his ass out of Colorado. Coming out again today saying he doesn't want to be like Todd Helton, 17 years in the league. 17 years with Colorado and no division titles, although they went to a World Series in 2007, Troy. Okay, but nevertheless.
Yeah, go out and make your team better and get a division title.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my answer.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? And he's trying to lobby his way out of Colorado, this guy. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? We got a couple teams that he'd be a good fit for?
Well, we talked a little bit about it off the air. I love him with the Amazons there. He looked great there.
Yeah,
he said his swing is tailor made for Fenway.
I like him for Fenway. I don't want anybody
going there. I mean,
boy, I think if I'm the Red Sox, boy oh boy, would I I'd go all in for Bogarts was on my mind. You can center a deal around Bogarts.
I can think of some small market teams that he'd make a nice fit for, but I don't think he wants to go there.
He's got a big contract still. He's got a lot of years left on his contract. I mean, I think the Mets, that's the guy the Mets need. I mean, they really do, but we'll see. I mean, the Yankees have spent so much money. I don't know if they have the prospects. The Red Sox have a great farm. The Red Sox are a team that could really put together a great package to get him. The Mets are as well. They've got some great pitching, and they've got a couple bats out there they could probably throw in there, to get him. So we'll see what happens with Tulowitzki. He could be a big guy getting moved at the deadline. He could make a major impact for a team. We all know that. He's one of the best players in the league. His splits are a little disconcerting, though. He's batting like 500 in Colorado. His splits are crazy. He's like Captain America at home, and he's human on the road, which is no surprise.
And then you're trying to talk your way out of there.
I know.
Seems a little
Tulowitzki.
Intuitive there, but
yeah, he's Tulowitzki. He could be a little Polish, I don't know how sharp he is.
Hey now,
I'm just kidding. But so that's a couple stories here. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how some of these teams are thriving here. See what happens in these. We got a couple of tight division races. The NL East is tight. AL East is tight. The AL West is tremendous. Robinson Cano making a difference out there in Seattle, that's for sure. They're above 500. They're in the mix there in the AL West. I think they're going to get lost in the shuffle, though, with Oakland. And
Oakland's tough.
And the Angels are hey, one of the things I said back in the winter, if Hamilton gets healthy, Pujols gets healthy, and what do you know? The Angels, they're good. The Angels are good. They're playing well. Mike Trout is just, he'll probably be the MVP, but I was just saying, for argument's sake, Cruz is just having such a great first half. But
I'd vote your way.
But I think Trout's going to be. It's just unbelievable. Mike Trout is just unreal. I mean, the Angels really have the best player on the planet, really. But that's all the time we have here on All Noise Radio on the Zuki and Ruggs Show, unfortunately. But thanks for listening. Great job, partner. It was a loaded show. My God,
yeah, it was. It was tough to get through this one in an hour.
God, yeah, we gotta talk to CSB. Get us a 4-hour show or something. Oof. Big time, loaded. All right, everybody.
If you want to keep the discussion going, just come on to YouTube and comment on our section, Facebook.
Absolutely.
Zuki and Ruggs Show.
Our Facebook page. Yeah, we're always...
Tweet us at Zuki and Ruggs on Twitter.
There you go.
At Zuki and Ruggs, I should say.
We're there, man. You could definitely give us... Yeah, we'd love to talk to you guys, discuss some things, share your thoughts with us. But that's it, unfortunately. We got to go. Enjoy your weekend, Ruggs. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, you too, brother.
Job well done, partner. We'll see you next week, guys.
Good night.
Our jobs occupy more than half of our waking hours. Shouldn't we be doing something we love? That's why in 1964 we founded Connecticut School of Broadcasting to give students the opportunity to do something they love.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting has placed thousands of graduates in a matter of months, not years. From camera operators and on-air personalities, video editors to voiceover artists. The possibilities are endless.
Today, Connecticut School of Broadcasting employs over 130 media professionals, training you on the latest software and equipment. Come on, life is more than just a 9 to 5.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting with locations up and down the East Coast from Massachusetts to Miami. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to gocsb.com. Connecticut School of Broadcasting, the nation's oldest and largest group of broadcast media schools, redefining training in radio, TV, and new media. Get trained. Get connected. 1-800-TV-RADIO.
This is All Noise Radio.
Loud noises!
All noise, all the time.
Noise. You have an annoying superhero in your city.
Here I come to save the day.
Does he wear his underwear on the outside and tie a stupid cape around his neck?
Does he undermine your local police department and your fellow cartel?
Does he try to fight with 50-volt beams of light?
Tired of paying for those crime-fighting damages?
Then Luther Core is here to destroy.
We have everything you need, from kryptonite in bulk for $99.99 a 50-pound tub, giant cans of Spidey Be Gone that eliminates large webs in seconds, and copies of Galactic Espionage for Dummies.
And of course, your favorite villains can help for $59.99 an hour. They're often evilly late, have a rude demeanor, and if you don't pay them overtime, they may take your firstborn child. But hey, you get what evil you pay for.
But they always get the message.
It's simple. Kill the Batman. Visit us at www.luthertakesthemdown.com or 666 Death Star Mine, space.
Spider-Man come out to play.
Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Awesome.